Hi guys, Dr. Kristie Ennis. Today we have 6 exercises to help bring either that bladder or that rectum or that uterus back up inside so that you can get better with your continence and with your pain. Okay, here's our starting position for the first few exercises. A pillow underneath kind of the sacrum, hips, or that belt line, and our feet up on something that's elevated. If you can get your legs to 90 degrees at the hip and the shin, great. I can't right now, so anything that's gonna help relax in this area and then use gravity to pull down is what we want. So step 1 is breathing correctly. And that sounds silly, but we want to use the diaphragm because the pelvic floor muscles and the diaphragm sit right next to each other. So that when we push or don't breathe properly, we actually can increase that pressure and increase that prolapse from to go down. So it's literally, as you breathe in, you're going to think about bringing the belly up to fill your hands. So it's a breathe in and breathe out. Right? So just in and out. So that's kind of your basis for everything right now. From here, we're going to use those pelvic floor muscles. So we're going to do a little Kegel. I'm going to guide you through that. If you're not 100% sure on how to do that, I will link a video for you so you can check that out too. But you're always going to start with that breathing. So you're going to breathe in. As you breathe out, you're going to think about like you have a marble. Don't do this at home really, but like you have a marble kind of right at that vagina and that you're pulling in and up. And then you can let it go. So we're just going to hold for just a little bit, right? A second or two, and then let it go. You might feel that towards the butt, but make sure that you're not actually squeezing those butt cheeks, right? Those muscles form front all the way to back, so you'll feel it in lots of those places. Your goal is to start with about 10 repetitions. We're going to start to work our deeper abdominals here now. Those again attach right where those muscles do. So everything from that first exercise applies as far as those pelvic floor muscles and that breathing. Now we're going to think about trying to keep this nice and tight, and we're alternating lifting one leg with a bent knee and the other. And as you can see as I'm doing this, I'm really trying to keep my hips nice and steady so that I'm really engaging in through those abs. If you do need a little bit more guidance with your pelvic floor, your prolapse, or anything else that's causing you not to lead the life that you love, check out my membership options where I offer some personal guidance to get you back on that path, and you'll know that somebody's always got your back. So goal would be about 10 repetitions on each side, but if you find yourself not breathing or not letting everything else relax, just pause, and it's okay to start with a few reps. Once you've got those first 2 exercises down, you're gonna move on to this third one, which is a little bit more advanced. Take the pillow away, hands are down by your side. Of course, the breathing, the muscle contraction all applies, and now we're gonna lift that butt up, still trying to keep things tight. If you need to, you can let everything go at the top and then re-squeeze as you come back down. Also, don't get too wrapped up. If you're like, I have no idea if I'm squeezing or not squeezing, let yourself just relax a little bit and just think about lifting those buns up. We're still gonna use gravity and we're still using those core muscles around. So goal is to try to contract those muscles while still breathing, but don't worry if you can't. Just adding this lift and lower will help guide things along. If that bridge one is too much with your legs elevated, an alternative is to just keep them on the ground and then go ahead and lift up. Obviously, you can still see we're still using gravity to help us pull things back in. All right, back to the pillow, but nothing to elevate the legs on because we're actually going to lift our legs up. So we're going into a modified happy baby. And I'm telling you, I could hang out here like all day, whether I have a prolapse or not. It just is so relaxing. So if you can grab behind the thighs, you're going to bring those knees towards that armpit. If you've got more flexibility, you can grab towards the outside of those feet. And we're really just letting those hips open, that pelvis open to let things relax. So your goal here, 3 to 5 nice, comfortable, yummy, happy breaths. This next one works through those abdominals and those hips a little bit more. So you're propped up on one forearm, which you can always put a pillow there if it's more comfortable. This position alone, right, is going to engage in some of those side ab muscles. You want to be in a nice straight line, and then that top leg is going to straighten out. We're going to lift it up, making sure that it's lifting right in that straight line. So now I'm starting to work those side buns, and I'm going to come back and forward. Notice I don't have a huge motion because if I did, I'd be swinging my body all over the place, and we want to try not to do that. So you want to shoot for about 10 in each position, but your leg might get tired, so it's okay to do less. And of course, make sure you do this on both sides. This last one is another modified yoga pose. You're going to go on hands and knees, or quadruped as it's called. You are going to leave your toes tucked under for this, and I'll explain that in a minute. We're starting with kind of that traditional cat-cow. So you take a nice breath in, Lift that head, squeeze those shoulder blades, and then you're going to tuck and round, come back to the middle, and push it back into that child's pose. So with our toes like this, we're stretching the feet out, and the same nerves that innervate those pelvic floor muscles also innervate the feet. So believe it or not, if we have a foot problem, we can have a pelvic floor problem too. So might as well get everything that we can. And then that cat-cow is going to nicely activate some of those abdominal muscles, those pelvic floor muscles, while also mobilizing that spine. So this is the most bang for your buck that you can probably get out of this. And shoot for about 5 or 10 here.